I want to talk to you about the upcoming event on July the 25th. We just concluded an amazing six-part series on military PTSD versus civilian complex PTSD, where we compared the experience. And I tell you, there was so much that came up during that series. Both of us, myself being the civilian example of complex PTSD, and my co-host who was so gracious with openly sharing his experience and being transparent with the trauma that he suffered the through being a part of the Gulf War and being a retiree from the military. It was such an amazing exchange. And from that, we decided to open it up for conversation with people that have suffered trauma. It does not have to be trauma from PTSD or CPTSD, but trauma, period, right? So we've opened up a session so that we can come together and start building our community, right? So that we can share the experiences. One of the things that I've experienced personally with complex PTSD is that there is a strong desire to isolate because of all of the shame and the guilt and all of the emotion that surface when you finally come into the awareness that the diagnosis of CPTSD or PTSD or trauma being surfacing in depression or anxiety, when you start to really come into the awareness that that trauma is an injury and it was not your fault. However, I say this consistently that recovery is our responsibility because there are so many tools that we can put in our toolkit to help us when those traumas start to surface in our life and start to hold us back. For me, isolation is kryptonite, right? Because when I get isolated, I'm alone there with my thoughts. And I'm sure, just as Mr. Rufus Carpenter expressed, that that's a shared symptom when you have suffered a major injury such as a trauma, which we call it the invisible scar, because no one can see it, but it's on the inside and it's constantly there. So we are always on the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. And you're going to understand and learn what those symptoms are and how we can really grasp that, how we're going to go into conversation on what, so you can identify, just as we have come into the awareness. But we went further by getting coaching and getting training and having a supportive community of holistic providers around us to be able to help us to not only identify the signs and symptoms, but also to help us break free. And that's what I'm excited about. And I understand now. And Mr. Carpenter, he'll share this story with you as well. But he came into awareness during our sessions and during my coaching that recovery is a lot more than taking prescription medications and going to see a psychiatrist or a therapist, right? Which is all a great part of the tools, but there are so many more tools that you're able to collect and that you're able to go into to help you. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get if and I uh I'm going to say recommend, right? I recommend the VIP pass. The VIP is $47, but you're going to get the Pathway to Trauma Recovery book. You are going to get a private roundtable session after the event, and you're also going to get the live recording so that you can review it over and over again and gain a greater revelation each time you are able to listen to that. So what I want you to do is go on over and reserve your seat, right? Become a part of the tribe that is now gone from surviving to thriving. All righty. I look forward to seeing you on the inside of our live. Bye for now.